Hey everyone, John Gonzalez here from MLive.com, the Going Gonzo Show. We also talked to Michael Bolton about those early days, and this is what he had to say.
I start thinking back to your early career. It's funny because I hear the passion in your voice and how much you believe in this. When you first came on the radio, which you remember those early days, a lot of people didn't know what's a Michael Bolton and what does he look like,
I was getting a lot of the R&B stations, which were primarily an African-American audience, where you'd hear Luther Vandross and James Ingram, and then all of a sudden I would come on.
Right, yeah.
And they didn't know I was white. And I remember the promotion guys up at Columbia Records saying, we don't want them to know you're white because we're getting airplay on Top 40,
right.
Adult Contemporary, Dock of the Bay, of course, the Otis Redding standard. I had Neil Schon from Journey playing all the guitars on it. It was produced by Jonathan Cain from Journey, and it had this kind of rock edge to it at the same time. So we were getting AOR, we were getting rock stations playing it as well. And then next thing you knew, we were having all of these R&B stations, and I was developing an audience with an African-American following that didn't know and didn't care. And I met Tina Turner many years later, who told me she thought I was black when she first heard me sing. And I was like, I'm just standing there in awe of the fact that I'm talking to Tina Turner.
Right.
And she's, but this is what you hear down the road. And it's also great because I got to play with B.B. King, and I got to sing with Ray Charles 3 times. I sang while he was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I sang Georgia on My Mind to him.
Wow.
And I know none of that would have happened if I hadn't grown up listening to these great singers it was all about soul.
Right.
And then eventually, of course, the category of blue-eyed soul came up, and I don't think soul has color. I don't think there is a color to soul. But a lot of the artists, including the Righteous Brothers, who I used to listen to as a kid, their inspirations were amazing black writer and producer and mostly singers before them. And I think that's what you study from the masters and you learn. And of course, for me, it was Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder and Smokey and definitely Ray Charles was one of the single biggest influences I ever had. And that really developed a career where I had crossover hits a lot. And I was continuing to write for other artists and then I'd sing with Patti LaBelle. And I think we're going to figure out a really great way and a great project to do where we're finally get to sing with Aretha, who I love, and she's part of the Detroit story for sure. She's part of the global music story, but she's definitely, her heart and soul are in Detroit. So, and then look, I don't want to sound like an advertisement for the state of Michigan.
We don't mind.
I played a lot of golf in Michigan, and so I took it up late in life. But what I would do is every time I tour, I'd stay in Birmingham and drive to and from, or there's 1 or 2 hotels where it was 15, 20 minutes to a phenomenal golf course. Then I started making friends who looked forward to me coming back. If it wasn't, during the season where we could play, it was about coming to the concert and then bringing their families to the concert. It's an amazing state with a lot of great people, but there's something really, really special going on right now that is this heart and soul coming back in Detroit. That's a big story. It's a really big story. So I'm going to love telling it, through this documentary, but I'm also going to do what I do, what I've been doing for 30-something years, which is hit the road and tour. And at that point, it won't matter, the city, the name of the city, the name of the state, nothing of, like that comes into the picture. It's about the people sitting in the seats who know my music from the first hits through what we're doing now. And that's what I'm looking forward to. So each tour, it's year after year. I don't, I knock on wood, that we're going strong. And I tour the world. I tour from here to Australia, China, Asia, Malaysia, Europe, Eastern Europe, and, all over the world. But it's really about the people sitting, holding those tickets, that have been looking forward to hearing you after so many years of making records, and they've kind of been on your journey with you for all of those years. It's impossible to describe that after. Somebody just asked me in an earlier interview whether I still enjoy it or whether I enjoy it as much because there's so much travel involved. And I kind of have learned I'm a good traveler. I'm on 14-hour flights quite a bit, and Europe is a lot, so it's 10 or 11-hour flights. And I'm used to that. It's all about the time you are on stage in front of your audience. All of that other work, everything else that comes with it, is worth it because of the amount of time you're allowed to spend on stage doing what you've always loved to do since you were a kid, in front of an audience who knows and embraces your music. So I have no, can't tell whether you hear it in my voice or not, but I have no intention on slowing down. No intention of slowing down.
We don't want you to, Michael Bolton. We really appreciate your time here. Real quick, can you tell us when this documentary, this project might come to life and in what form?
We don't have a date, and the form is now, someone just asked again, whether it will be a theatrical release or not. And the original intention was not aimed at a theatrical release, but we've just been reminded that occasionally documentaries can cross over and make it into theaters. So we're not ruling it out. We're looking at sometime in 2014. I'm hoping it's the early part of 2014, maybe the spring of 2014. And we'll be aggressively going to network TV. But there is a chance that it could find its way into theaters around the country, and I think that that's probably the fact that it's about Detroit, but it's about Detroit in a way that it's so tied into the American dream. It could be attractive enough to make it into theaters across the country. Honestly, I'm so grateful we're able to do it and so grateful to find so many champions and such a great story connected to the music that I originally came to Detroit and went to Hitsville and got my tour of Hitsville.
Right.
That was my original intention. So anything that happens above and beyond that kind of documentary will just be, a bonus. But I'd say we're aiming for the spring of 2014.
Well, when you get into the post-production there, please let us know. I'd love to come out. And where's your company based out of?
Well, Los Angeles.
Okay, you're doing everything
and Connecticut. I mean, I'm home in Connecticut. I have my recording studio and a crew in Connecticut, but I also have my team in Los Angeles, and we're editing out in Santa Monica right now as we speak.
Well, definitely.
We're editing the film.
Definitely let us know if there's a chance to come out while you're doing that. We'd love to come out and just be part of that because we definitely want to spread the word. Not only just here in Michigan, but throughout the country of what you guys are doing, and we can't wait to see the project. So thank you so much.
Thanks very much. And whatever we do, we'll do something super special to premiere it in Detroit. So stay tuned.
Definitely will. Michael Bolton, we thank you for your time. We can't wait for you to get to Michigan. And again, thanks for all the things you're doing to let people know about not only Detroit, but this beautiful state of Michigan.
That's my total pleasure.
All right. Make a commercial for us anytime.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Thanks again for listening. John Gonzalez here. Great interview with Michael Bolton. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want the complete interview, go to mlive.com, search for Going Gonzo Show, or search for Michael Bolton, and we'll give you all the information. Have a great day.